Good evening. We are live on location at Ndere Center at the Gathering of Givers 2024. Our theme is Our Generous Spirit, and this year we're shining a spotlight on young givers. And I have my guest here who represents one of the organizations that is the brainchild behind this amazing day. I'm going to let her introduce herself. And before she tells us about her organization, please tell us about yourself and then name a young person that you think about when you think of young givers.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Jackie. My name is Catherine Mutesi Mugabo. I'm a young giver.
Uh-huh.
Yes, at heart. At Steve Legacy Foundation, and South Africa Galaxy, we know that young people give, and it's not just young in age. It's even grandmothers who still have the giving spirit. Mm-hmm. So those are young givers at heart.
Okay.
So I just wanted to emphasize that. And when I think about a young person that really gives, you've asked me to say one. I think about my youngest son.
Yeah.
He smiles, encourages you many times, so many times we think about giving in terms of money, in terms of, but he gives me hugs, pegs, kisses, encouragement.
Yes.
So every time I think about giving,
wow,
your bell.
No, and that's amazing that you say that, because the one thing that we've tried to do is to ask people to open their eyes to what generosity is or could be, and especially to look at those things that we take for granted, because those very things are the expressions of generosity that we can easily miss because we assume we take them for granted. So, Catherine, the Gathering of Givers this year has been sponsored by, among others, Civ Legacy. Can you tell us a bit about what Civ Legacy Foundation is and what makes generosity something central to what they talk about, work on as an organization?
So Civ Legacy Foundation is actually less than 2 years old. And just also to give credit that we are a baby of and therefore part of Civ Galaxy family. Our mother entity is Civ South Africa, and I understand that this is in this partnership we've partnered with our mother entity. Civ Legacy Foundation is very big on 3 programs. We've done our work through 3 main programs that are actually an expression of generosity themselves. One is working and serving leaders in the civil society sector, but also we've worked with leaders in the private sector. And why leaders? Because leaders are one of those constituencies that many people have a misconception about. People assume that because you're a leader and you seem to have all these things around you, you are shielded from pain, from struggles. And yet in our work, speaking with leaders, we know that leaders make many sacrifices, many of which are invisible. And because when you're in leadership, sometimes you're not even at the forefront of the program implementation. So the assumption is it's like a waiter. The chef does the cooking in the kitchen. But when you give a tip many times, it's to the waiter. But the person who really prepared the food is the chef that is not in your side. So that's why at Civ Legacy Foundation, we are very firm and very passionate about serving leaders, because they always serve others. And many times they are like the chef. They are never tipped. They are always forgotten many times. The other way we serve and are big on philanthropy is through our advisory work. We work with the philanthropists, because Civ Legacy Foundation is Civ South Africa's charity arm that supports philanthropists in all their shades. Local philanthropists, international philanthropists, private sector. So in serving and supporting those organizations to give thoughtfully in meaning ways, but also to surface the fact that giving is much more than money, because we know that giving is not just of money. It's of the 3 T's, like we call it at Civ Legacy Foundation and the Civ family, that we give of our time, of our talent, of our treasure. So whether that treasure is money or treasure in kind, all that is giving. So we amplify that. In fact, because our work also complements each other, when you look at our philanthropy program, which is our so the other pieces you would say it's building strength and influencing philanthropy. So through our philanthropy arm or program, we actually provide infrastructure for givers to be able to give, because as an African people, we give a lot. I've just talked about your bill. And for the rest of my children, Prince, Divine, Pearl, Kahunde, I've not forgotten, but I was asked for one name, so I just gave the youngest as an example. But we know that we give in ways that are unique, and so philanthropy is to even shape narratives. It's one of the things we do, is to facilitate the shaping of narratives, but also we contribute to the shaping of those narratives. And what do? We provide information. We've done research, again, so that we shine a spotlight that as an African people, we are givers. Many times when you ask young people, if you ask your Bella, are you a giver? I'm sure he will have no idea what you're talking about. But it's one of those people that blesses my heart. And so do my other children do. But many people bless our hearts. When I was just being brought to this conversation, Ronald picked me up and he asked me a question. Do you have this? And I said, no. He said, you may want to pick that. He noticed something and he gave me the gift of his soul, something I didn't see. That is giving. He's a young person. He held my hand. I was coming up on one of those staircases. He held my hand. We came here, at a faster pace. He supported me. All that is giving.
All that is giving.
So when you think about Civ Legacy Foundation, our heart beats for giving in all its forms, invisible and invisible ways. And we desire that we surface that and to encourage young people. Don't look down upon those things that you do every day, that you may never perceive as giving. But you just never know whose life you've saved, whose heart you've warmed up. Thank you.
So no, literally what you're saying is no giving is small giving.
No giving, small giving. And when all these things come together, you can imagine, from your bell smile and hugs and pecks, then I have Ronald helping me to come to this conversation. My hubby, who, supported me to be here in time. Many things people do cumulatively. So you have a smiling Catherine here because there's a whole cumulative
chain of generosity,
different people that have given to contribute to who I come across, even in this conversation. So, it's every act of giving matters.
So, every act of giving matters, but connect that for us to then why have things like a gathering of givers? What makes it important, if at all it is?
You know that this is our 5th anniversary of the Gathering of Givers, which is an annual event that gathers givers in all their shades. We've been in the regional spaces. Our first was in Africa, where we're doing, big, bold, bigger. We went regional. We've been spotlighting different things of giving. So usually the Gathering of Givers is like the culmination. And so it is a celebration, because we are recognizing that on every day, on a daily, givers are giving. Lives are being changed. Communities are being positively impacted by the different kinds of giving that are existing all around us. So in bringing the Gathering of Givers together is to say, what does this look like in a space? It's really to celebrate. But also remember, we are shaping narratives. That Africa is not a recipient only. We are givers. And without being misunderstood, when the president says we are usually the biggest givers, whether we are giving of raw materials, we are still givers. Whether it's our minerals that are taken and processed and brought back to us 1,000 times more expensive, we have given. But we're never recognized, because then what will be recognized in that is the aid, which is perhaps 1%.
We're that chef that you talked about, right?
We're that chef that is invisible in all this. When young people volunteer, when young people do all these things, the music, the art they do, the kindness that are so oftentimes taken for granted, that you think, when they're home, they're not coming to collect fees. They are doing all these little things. They are lightening up our homes. They are sharing ideas with parents. And because maybe we are not even in the culture of even disclosing, so where did this idea come from? The whole thing of accreditation. Who do you give credit for what? So all those things. So the Gathering of Givers is also a tradition and practice where we are continuously refining to say, can we surface and recognize and give credit. And for those things that need to stay hidden, it's okay, because also for purposes of faith or other reasons, some things maybe are better left in the, but just to recognize that every little kindness, everything we do out for others is a giving action, and it matters. Yes.
Thank you. And Catherine, as we wind down this conversation, when you look towards the future and you think young people, you think generosity, you think our continent, what is your hope? What is your dream?
My dream and hope is that this generation is wired for their time. They are tech savvy. I see them breaking boundaries and doing things we'll never imagine. You see, Revelation, I'm a believer. So Revelation talked about how when the Antichrist does something, the whole world will see. In those days, I'm sure nobody would have imagined the whole world seeing all at the same time. With technology today, we are here in this studio, but how many are going to see? So young people's tech savviness and hunger and creativity and innovation with tech, they have not only the future of philanthropy, but perhaps the breakthrough that Africa has waited for generations. Those that came before us fought with guns and resistance. And yes, we may not be the initiators of these technologies, but the way young people are working with this thing, they are really giving us hope that they could swing this thing. Yeah, the US talks about swing states. I think the young people are our swing generation.
Wow. Yes. Woohoo! I feel like we go. No matter what we go.
Yes.
Catherine, thank you so much. And thank you to the team at Civ Legacy for putting this year's Gathering of Givers together along with its partners in this space. And I love your dream. They are our swing generation. I take that. Woo!
Yes.
Thank you for listening to us. And you are the people we have been waiting for.
Yes.
You young people, you, nobody else but you. Thank you so much.